And I'm also, like, aware that I'm not the type of guy that would be on the cover of Rolling Stone, you know what I mean?
Why
It's
not?
like, 'cause I'm too sexy. Craig, I'm way too sexy.
It's true. I always
And
feel
at this point, I'm too young, you know
that's
what I mean?
true. That's true. Hey there, everyone. Craig Melvin here. Welcome to my basement bar and my show, Glass Half Full. This is where we really dig into the moments and the milestones that shape people's lives, that sometimes transform their lives. And our guest today is a guy named Jim Gaffigan.
Hey, Jim, right here.
And Jim, this way right here, Jim.
You know Jim. He's been making us laugh for decades now. He's got like about a dozen stand-up specials. He's got a new YouTube series on basically just bourbon because, like myself, Jim Gaffigan loves bourbon.
But I will occasionally have a bourbon every night.
Jim Gaffigan also loves all 5 of his children, although during the course of our conversation, you might not think so. We talk about kids, we talk about parenting, we talk about our love of bourbon, and we talk about life and loss as well. I hope you enjoy our conversation. So, I mean, Jim, you have been making us laugh for decades, and I also found out a while back that you, sir, also appreciate the brown nectar of the gods as well. You're a bourbon guy.
Yes.
We
Yes,
like,
I
we,
am.
we like to start each episode of Glass Half Full with a toast.
Yes.
So what is one thing from your life or one thing on the horizon that Jim Gaffigan would like to toast?
Oh my gosh. Well, I would like to toast, since we are drinking the brown nectar, crazy project that I have, which is called the Bourbon Set. It's Jim Gaffigan live at Old Forester, the Bourbon Set, where I talk a lot about bourbon and bourbon nerds like the two of us. So that's a toast to that.
Cheers. Cheers. We like to spend part of the show focusing on the moments that made us. Is there a moment that Jim Gaffigan can look back to and say, you know what, that was when the trajectory all changed?
Yeah, I would say there was a point in my stand-up career, and this sounds kind of cute and but there was a moment where I came to the realization, where I was like, okay, well, because I was, jealousy and ambition, which anyone who has any level of success has struggled with jealousy and managing ambition.
That's very honest. That's very honest.
I was very driven. Like, I would say that after I'd been doing stand-up 6 months, I was like, okay, why am I not on this? And I mean, I probably didn't say it verbally,
Right.
but like I thought it.
Yeah.
There was a good 7 years in where it was, and seeing all my friends, really surpass me and achieve great things. And part of me was happy for them. Part of me was like, there's no justice in this world,
I'm funnier than that guy.
Well, not so much that, but like, where's my piece of the pie?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And which would come out as jealousy. And there came a moment where I was in therapy, and I had to come to a realization that success is, getting caught up in other people's idea of success is insanity, will cause insanity. So I had to sit there and realize, okay, maybe I'll never be on a late night talk show. Maybe I'll be, this weird uncle that lives in downtown Manhattan in a dirty apartment. And so that moment where I was like, all right, maybe I'm not going to be a success, but I'm so grateful that I found a passion that I can explore. Like, I was so grateful for that when I focused on that, then things started happening.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
When you reminded yourself why you got into it and you stopped chasing other people's definition of success, then you just blew up.
Yeah. Then it's, and some of it's always been slow and steady for me. Like there's never, and I'm also like aware that I'm not the type of guy that would be on the cover of Rolling Stone. You know what I mean?
Why
It's
not?
like, because I'm too sexy. Craig, I'm way too sexy.
It's true. I always
And at
figured.
this point, I'm too young.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I mean?
true. That's true. That's true. You're exactly right. I'd forgotten about both of those things. I'm
Yeah.
surprised. I'm surprised the moment that you didn't cite was that time you got fired while you were napping.
Well, what I was also thinking of saying, which is a little bit rather really sincere, is I was this child of the 80s who we were raised to seek security. My parents had lived through, uh, you know, uh, you know, boom and bust all over. And my dad's success was wearing a tie. So when my mother died, when I was like 22, and I was working in New York in advertising, there is something about that moment where I was so kind of lost and unfulfilled. And that's not to say that, I mean, I hated my job, but I also hated waking up in the morning. And so I was trying to find something that I was fulfilled at. And so, like, yeah, I mean, that my mother dying was a big watershed moment where I was like, oh, we don't know how long we're here,
Ah.
and you gotta go for what you want. And I had to deal with people that I went to college with, like being like, "What are you doing? You're pursuing stand up? That's interesting." Like people looking at you like you're mentally ill.
But it's
Yeah.
funny. I dealt with the same thing. It's when you start out in journalism. I was living with my parents for 6 months. I moved out of my parents' house to move into my grandma's house because she just died, and they would let me live there for free. I would steal toilet paper from them when they were at work, and like go home between shows and eat their food because I couldn't afford my own.
Yeah.
And my friends at the time, a lot of them were like, "Dude, like, what are you doing? Like, you're covering car wrecks and house fires and burglaries, like, caught on surveillance."
But some of that, I guess, to pat ourselves on the back is taking that bravery, right? To sit there and go, this could turn us into like, did you hear what happened to Craig? Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, he was so promising, and then I saw him.
It's
It's sad.
one of the things I've always enjoyed about your style of comedy. You've heard this before. People call you a clean comic. You don't
Yeah.
use profanity as a crutch. Um, has that always been the case? Have you always been that kind of comic?
Well, there is footage of me in the early 90s, which I have somewhere, where not only am I cursing, I'm smoking a cigarette on stage.
Jim Gaffigan.
Yes, it's like, and I was doing like a 5-minute set, right? And so to answer your question, I was some of the process of discovering your point of view, your comedic point of view is new comics, and it's changed. I don't know if this is the case anymore, but people would try on different personalities. And the reality is 90% or 99% of comedians end up with their personality. But usually meeting their what made them funny and what made their friends say, "Hey, you should do stand up." And so, but like I got into stand up and I was this super white bread guy and at that point, I think New York in the early 90s was a different place. Like now there's but like I would get on stage and people would be like, this blonde guy, like there was I know that sound like there are people that are struggling with much different. I had to deal with being blonde. No, but like uh I would go on stage and there wasn't this people would look at me like John Tesh. They're like, what are we in the middle of a presentation from the regional vice president. Do you know what I mean? Like they were used to
Right.
like early 90s comedy in New York City was very kind of combat. And I'm this slow talking Midwesterner. So
Yeah.
it didn't necessarily line up. That's not to say that there weren't, but it's how it felt to me. And so I thought that I had to change myself. I had to
Ah.
be edgy. And it didn't make sense at all. You know what I mean? And so and I think that it used to be the case, I don't know if it's true anymore, but it used to be that comedians had to spend time getting what made them funny, figuring out how to do that on a larger platform, meaning in front of a crowd of people they didn't know.
Yeah.
Like some comedians typically can be funny one-on-one or with their friends, but it's like getting funny in front of strangers is a different, deal.
You're the youngest of 6. Is that how you ended up having 5 children of your own?
You know, I I mean, I was late to the game too, the parenting thing. I think it really my wife is one of 9, and,
One of 9?
yeah, she's the oldest of 9.
Are they
So
Mormon or are they
no, just Catholic,
uh,
just,
but
you
like
know,
but like old school Catholic?
old school, but also just, and some of it is like now I can see it's like her mother, who's a saint, decided to have all these kids. Not logical. And then I marry this woman who keeps sitting there going, I want to have another baby, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, okay. I mean, around the 4th or 5th, I was like, what are we doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, and so, but again, that's where these, there is something strange as a comedian, or a writer where when life is difficult or complicated, it presents an opportunity. So, in other words, my children, my wife points this out to me. It's like the way my children torture me, in a way, they're providing material. Do you know what I mean?
That's fair. That's a valid point.
I also, when I do shows, I always, there's a lot of different types of people in my audience. So I always, when I was chronicling, the different stages of parental failure that I'm experiencing, I only do that for a portion in my show, which is also why I'm doing this set just on bourbon.
No one came up to me and like, when are you going to do a stand-up set about America's native spirit? I'm mentally ill.
I'm always touring, but like when I was developing all this bourbon and whiskey material, there's a certain responsibility in the show. Like I could do 15 minutes on bourbon, and the people like you and I that love bourbon love the material. But there's a certain patience that the people that maybe they don't drink, or maybe
Fair.
maybe they're in recovery. They're like, you know what? Can you move on? And so it's like, but that's why I'm doing this
Yeah.
on YouTube, is because it is a niche thing. You know what I mean? And it is, I don't have an expectation that everyone's gonna grab their kids and watch
Right.
me talk about bourbon. And I don't think they should. But
I
if
can't wait
you're-
to watch it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? If you're like somebody who's an adult, and some of it is, I don't know about you, because I want to hear were you somebody that was drinking bourbon in college, or did you evolve into it?
I was drinking really crappy bourbon in South Carolina, but this was also before we had the variety that we have now. So back
Yeah.
then, on a Friday night, if you could get some Jim Beam, you were a bowler. You were a bowler.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
if we were celebrating a birthday, something special, maybe you might spring for Maker's Mark.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but no, I drank pretty mediocre bourbon up
Yeah.
until about 6 or 7 years ago, and
'Cause-
now I like collect it.
Yeah. No, I
How about you?
totally. Oh, I think that there's like 5 stages. Because I'm late to the game. Like I drank some Southern Comfort in
Oh,
college,
yeah.
but it was not about flavor. See,
No.
like in the South, there's a different appreciation for bourbon and whiskey in general. And so like I was just kind of like, what is it? A quarter beer? I'll do that. And so I think there's 5 stages of becoming bourbon obsessed. The
Okay.
first stage is the awakening. You
Yeah.
realize, oh my gosh, there's a brown liquid that doesn't taste like lighter fluid,
Yes.
and it's bourbon. And then the next stage is discovering that there are bourbons that taste even better.
Yes.
So maybe it's Willet or, Elijah Craig barrel proof. You're like, oh my gosh, this is very good.
Michter's 10-year.
Yes. And then the third phase is you sit there and you go, I might want to get a couple of these bottles. Maybe you had a Blanton's, which is adorable and a cute bottle, and it's a great entry level thing.
Collect
But
all
you're
the
not gonna
horses.
you're not gonna overdo it like some of these bourbon nerds. You're not gonna spend over $100, and you're not gonna sleep out in your car, and you're not gonna hide purchases from your wife. And then the fourth phase is you're sleeping in your car and you're lying to your wife. and you're building something like what you see behind Craig, which is, and your wife is like, is this that important to you? And you're like, yes, it is.
It is.
Isn't it beautiful? And she nods because she loves you.
Uh-huh.
And she realizes she'd rather be with a guy who's obsessed with bourbon than having an affair.
There you
And
go.
that's why it's perfect.
It sounds like you've been talking to my wife, first of all, but I tell her all the time, I'm like, sweetie, it's not a heroin, And,
Yeah.
And when I'm down here in my bourbon basement, at least you know where I am.
It is, I mean, that's what I love about it, is
Yeah.
because there is also, it's decidedly male. Obviously, men and women drink
Sure.
whiskey, but I love the fact that like there is, it's contradictory because men explore their masculinity. It allows them to get away from their wives and talk to other men about things that sound like mouthfeel and show bottles, and it's just very weird.
It is.
It's
It is.
very weird.
It is.
You know?
But I really, it is one of my 3 favorite hobbies. The hand
Yes.
stuff. How old are your kids again, Jim?
13 to 21.
Do they find you funny at all?
I think so. I mean, at times in small doses.
Okay.
But I'm an enforcer. So there is, it's kind of like, I feel like I'm kind of the police officer. It's like you can only like the police officer that much in your community. It's like, now I sound like I'm anti-police, but like, it's just kind of,
I know what you mean.
you know what I
You're
mean?
the tough
It's
cop. You
just-
play tough cop.
I'm the authority. You know what I mean? I'm the guy that's like, no, you're not going to sleep with your phone. You know what I mean? It's like, why did I ever give them phones? But like, but like the sense of humor thing is very important in our family. And I would say that here's where I'm very lax. Like if they're disrespectful
Yeah.
or they're rude, but they're funny about it, I'm like, all right, that was like, that's where like, I have no principles. I'm like, my wife would be like, can you believe he said that? And I go, but it was funny.
It was fun. It's my 11-year-old is at that stage now. He's in the 6th grade. And
Yeah.
he's like testing boundaries and authority. And he'll say things sometimes, usually under his breath. And he'll
Yeah.
say things sometimes, and it's inappropriate, but it is
Yeah.
so funny. I find myself cracking up. And I have to remind myself, I can't give him the impression that this is acceptable behavior.
My son, Michael, does that where he makes fun of my sayings. Like if I'll go, Michael, did you do your form shooting? And he'll go, greatness. Because at one point I spoke to him about greatness. And then sometimes he'll just chime in, then move out. You know what I mean? Because I've said that to my 19-year-old or 21-year-old when they're like, why can't we do this? I'm like, then move out. Go ahead. So he curates quotes and he'll just throw them back at me. And again, half the time it's disrespectful, but it's always funny.
It is. And I think I don't know, it feels like there's a part of us that should sort of reward that. So I saw I saw your show at the Beacon last year. I believe it was last year. It's hard to keep up with your specials and your shows, but this is the show where you spent a good 5 minutes. Um, it was self-deprecating in the sense that, oh, I know what you're thinking. Look at Jim. He looks so good. He's
Yeah.
lost so much weight, but you're going on and on.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was where it was going. And then you revealed that you've been taking the shot.
These people will come up to me and accuse me of being on an appetite suppressant. They're like, you're on Ozempic, admit it, you're on Ozempic. And I'm not, all right? I'm on a different one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you still taking the shot?
I am. It's it's one of those things. It's weird. It's just something that's in the background of my life
Yeah.
at this point. Where I will take it definitely because I'm still paranoid that I'm going to feel nauseous, but I'm not using it with the expectation of losing more weight. It's just I don't trust my own behavior.
There was so much talk around it. I tried it. You don't want to eat.
Yeah.
It suppresses all appetite for anything. Like, did you not
Yeah.
find that to be miserable?
Well, that's where it works really well for me because I would jokingly say that it made me it didn't remove it. It would just make me consume like a human as opposed to a dog. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to understand, Craig. Like I remember when I was writing some of these books with my wife, we wrote a couple of books together and the morning we would wake up to get our kids to school and there would be like 4 Triscuits boxes. Like we meaning mostly me, I would plow through 3 of them.
Okay.
No one does that,
Yeah.
right? Like no one does that. So for me, it's like, I think it's also, I hope it's the miracle drug that people think it is because it is, if it can suppress, compulsive behavior, that would be great. But like, for me, it makes me behave like a human, which is amazing.
You mentioned your wife, Jeannie.
Oh, pretend you like each other a little bit. Do the kiss.
First of all, I mean, how did you guys meet? I don't know that story.
Okay.
And here's a guy that loses his mother to cancer when he's 22, and then his wife of many years has a brain tumor. Did you immediately
Yeah.
go to that dark place?
Oh yeah. No, I emotionally prepared for because it was a tumor the size of a pear, right? In her head. And I was like, all right, this is not good, right? And I've got 5 young children because I think it was like 10 years ago. And I kind of thought, okay, I guess that's my career. That's kind of because I'm not gonna outsource just the parenting to while I can go and do stand up. I was like, all right, I'm not only am I going to lose my wife, I'm going to not be able to pursue this creative outlet. But from an emotional standpoint, I think there was like a pragmatism that kicks in, like, all right, well, I got to do this. And my big takeaway of her having that brain tumor was the great gift was that it gave me an opportunity to show up and be this caretaker. And anyone who's been a caretaker, it is brutal, but it's also an opportunity for you to walk the walk. You know what I mean? Like that you were going to be there because not everyone does it. Some people are like, bye. You know what I mean? And so there's that was the gift of it, making my wife's brain tumor about me,
Well, that's okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess in a way, but I got what you're saying. I understood what you
Yeah.
were saying. I'd like to do this thing toward the end of the conversation. They're just things that usually random things I'm curious about. We sort of do it
Sure.
rapid fire. All
Yeah.
right. Rapid
Okay.
fire.
Bing, 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 bing,
Curious,
bing, bing.
curious questions.
Okay.
Gaffigan's pre-show ritual.
I have a cup of coffee, and I also am always looking at notes. I'm always seeing if I can find one line that add to a show.
Never satisfied. You, of course, are famous for your food jokes. If there was just one food that Jim Gaffigan could eat for the rest of his life, what would it be?
Um, there's so many answers to this.
It's one.
I,
You get one.
all right. I'd say cheeseburgers.
Oh, that's a good one. God, that's a good
Yeah.
one. That's the best answer I've probably gotten, actually. Who's your favorite child?
Favorite child?
Yeah.
I would say my inner child. No. I don't really like any of them, to be honest. No, as a parent, you might have inklings and they accuse you of it,
Yeah.
but you're spending every waking hour so that like they are not. Because I think in previous generations, they were like, oh, I'm mom's favorite. But like today, you're like, no. I'm not going to be the cause of a couple therapy sessions.
Correct.
Yeah.
I do tell my kids sometimes it depends on the day. One day, one's their favorite. The next day, it's another. Rarely are they favorites consecutive days.
Yeah. I heard that there's a grandmother that does a pecking order of grandchildren that they come over and they can see it, and it's so brilliant because it probably makes kids behave.
You're actually probably right. It probably would work.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the redo.
Okay.
Any moments where you felt like giving up, where you felt like this comedy thing is not going to happen?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember I did a set at Dangerfields, and this is in the 90s, and I remember I was dealing with a heckler, and they were very rude, and they left, and then the waiter made me pay their bill. And I was like the amount of humiliation upon humiliation. I just but there were plenty of moments, going back to the first part of this conversation where I was like, this is not going to work out by traditional standards of success. So what am I going to be comfortable with? So I had to embrace that.
What's one moment that you hope people remember you for?
I'd want people to know that I worked hard. Do you know what I mean? That it wasn't, and some of it is as a parent, you want, people like, your children to be, decent human beings. You know what I mean? So I guess his kids were not monsters. You know what I mean?
That could honestly be the title of your next special.
Right. They're not monsters.
They're not monsters. They're not monsters. At least they're not monsters.
At least they're not monsters. Not all of them.
Not all of them, and not every day. Would you consider yourself a glass half full or a glass half empty kind of guy?
I would say glass half full. But also somebody who's like, I'm gonna have to work hard to fill the rest of the glass. Some things come easy to people, things come harder to me, but once I accepted that, that's all right.
What comes harder to you? Because from the outside, it looks like things come pretty easy for one of the funniest guys in America.
Oh, well, thank you. No, I mean, I would say, I think kind of every aspect of my career has been a little bit of a journey. And I'm grateful for everything that has happened. But I would say, among even my comedy peers getting on Conan or Letterman, I was definitely one of the last people of my the comedians of my generation or my sub-generation to get that. And I'm sure everyone feels this way, where you're just like, I think it just seems like there's much easier paths, but I feel like in life, I've always unintentionally taken the harder path. Like even having 5 kids, like that's dumb. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's a life choice. It is a life choice.
It is a life choice. By the way, being a parent is insane. The career accomplishments of a parent or the mental stability of a parent should not be compared to someone who doesn't have kids. Like you all,
Amen.
do you know what I mean? Like I have a joke that's not in the bourbon set, but it's just there's a child tax credit. And I think that parents of teenagers should get a teenage crazy credit because I know your kids are younger, but
Yes.
like once they get there, it's an unraveling. You know, they're teenagers are essentially mentally ill people. You know what I mean? That's not to say
What?
they're not great, and
Yes. Yes.
it helps that they look like you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
but
You
like
can't kick them out.
and you love them. But
Usually.
like, you know, today, this morning, you know, chaos, right? Every morning before school, it's like it's never been a scenario. Oh my gosh, there's school. Yeah, there's school. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, I had to figure out my backpack. Yeah, that's why I was saying last night, make sure your backpacks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Every day's the first day.
Yeah.
I have so enjoyed this, my friend. I really have.
Thanks, buddy.
We like to always end with the toast as well. Cheers to your success. Cheers to the best moments that are yet to come. And cheers to Father Time, Bourbon.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Well, there you have it. Jim Gaffigan. Perhaps like you haven't heard Jim Gaffigan before. I love the fact that, first of all, Jim loves bourbon almost as much as I do. But his take on the craziness of parenting and this idea that, you know, he nearly loses his wife, he loses his mom in his 20s, and how that shaped and molded him. I have a new appreciation for Mr. Gaffigan. By the way, you can catch Jim's set on YouTube, his new bourbon comedy set. It is out. Check it out. I want to thank Jim for joining me for today's edition of Glass Half Full. And thank you as well. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. And my corporate overlords always like for me to remind you, if you enjoy the conversation, you should download it and you should share it. Is that right? Just download and share? Download and share. You can like it too. They just told me you can like it. Until next time, cheers. The glass is half full.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.